Good morning everybody. Today I am giving a demonstration in finding the Young's modulus by single cantilever. So in this experiment we are determining the Young's modulus of the material of the given beam by the method of single cantilever. So to conduct this experiment, so we require a single cantilever. So I'll show the apparatus first. So we have to consider this. This is a single cantilever. So this is the beam what we are considering. So in which one end of the beam is said to be fixed with a rigid support. So then we say this is a single cantilever. So now we require to find out the Young's modulus of this beam by the method of single cantilever. So now we have a single cantilever apparatus. And to measure what is the amount of depression once we apply a stress onto the material with the principle of bending moment. So what we are finding this amount of depression. So for that we have a travelling microscope which is followed by vernier. So this is the travelling microscope. A travelling microscope is one in which is said to be consisting of vernier scale along the horizontal direction, along the vertical direction. So now I'll explain how to find the least possible value that we can measure from this instrument. See here, so we have an adjustable screw. So using this screw you can move this travelling microscope up and down. And this is a screw for horizontal variation. So we can change the position along the horizontal direction. So in our experiment, so we have a variation only along the vertical variation, up and down variation. Correct. So then we have to use this transverse direction scale. So here what they have mentioned here is, so I think you can observe here the fixed scale is nothing but the main scale and this movable. So if I operate this screw, so this small plate, so which is attached with this box, it will keep on moving. That is called the vernier. The movable scale is called as the vernier and the fixed scale is called as the main scale. Now I will explain how to find the least count for this travelling microscope. The least count for this travelling microscope. So I'll just explain onto the board. You just observe the calculations. So the least count of this travelling microscope so is given by the ratio of the value of one main scale division by the total number of divisions on the vernier scale. So now I will explain how to find this one main scale division. See, in this travelling microscope, the calibration in the main scale they have done. So 1 centimeter they have equally divided into 20 equal parts. So 0 to 1 centimeter, just I have mentioned only for 1 centimeter. So they divided like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 20 divisions. From 0 to 1 equally 20 divisions. So that I mentioned here, so 1 centimeter in the main scale which is equal to 20 main scale division. 20 main scale division. Therefore, 1 main scale division will be equal to 1 by 20 centimeter. So that we can read 1 main scale division will be equal to 0.05 centimeter. Meaning here is, so this small division will be equal to 0.05. This will be, again you have to add 0.05, 0.1. 0.15, 0.2, 0.25, 0.3. So, for each and every division, we need to add 0.05. So, that is the meaning of one main scale division. Hence, we can read all the divisions in the main scale. Then, the total number of vernier scale division, which is equal to 50. There are 51 lines and 50 divisions. Therefore, the least count we can calculate by substituting these values. The value of one main scale division will be equal to 0.05 centimeter and the total number of divisions on the vernier scale is said to be equal to 50. So if you simplify this one, the least possible value that we can measure from this travelling microscope as 0.001 centimeter. The meaning of this is we can find the accuracy up to third decimal variation. That is the main advantage of this travelling microscope. So now we'll pass on to the experimental aspect, how to find the amount of depression produced if we apply the stress onto the considered beam. So now first we'll take the table lamp. So we'll focus this onto the needle. So needle is only a reference. So once we apply stress onto the material, so we can able to observe onto the tip of the needle. So that is the advantage of why we have to consider the needle. So now we'll consider the cantilever setup. So we have a cantilever which is said to be fixed to a rigid support. So now we have a traveling microscope. So this microscope, initially using this adjustable screw, you just focus this onto the needle. So towards the needle, make sure that the needle and the, so using this, you just make sure that using this traveling microscope, you just make sure that this needle and this microscope should be almost parallel. So suppose we have one more backside screw. If we operate this one, we can move this up and down. Suppose the condition is like this. If this traveling microscope is below this needle, means it's quite difficult to focus. Better you have to make it parallel. So then only we can easily focus for the tip of the needle. Then observe the eyepiece. Observe the eyepiece. So we have a eyepiece here. So using this adjustable screw, observe the eyepiece from the observer. So you have to keep on focus. So on focusing, you can able to catch the image of the needle. So inverted image that you can observe through eyepiece. So just I'll show the appearance what we are receiving from this eyepiece. See, we can able to observe. So this is the eyepiece. So which is said to be consisting of vertical cross wire and the horizontal cross wire. So once we focus using this traveling microscope, so the appearance will be like this. So we'll get the inverted image. This is the tip of the needle. So we'll get inverted image. So using this adjustable screw here, using this adjustable screw in the traveling microscope, so we have to adjust for a reference, because once we apply a stress onto the material, the needle, it may go out of range. For every load, for every trial, so there should be always a one single reference to measure the readings. So now using the adjustable screw for the traveling microscope, keep the needle, the tip of the needle should touch the horizontal cross wire. So this is the reference. Since it's a only vertical variation, there is no horizontal variation. Hence, you can consider the tip of the needle can touch anywhere along the horizontal cross wire. So one can consider this will be the reference. One can say it will be at the intersection between horizontal and vertical cross wire, or one can take in another position of the other side of the horizontal cross wire. So anywhere, any point you can consider that as a reference, so that at that point for a particular load you can measure what is the main scale reading and what is the coinciding vernier division that you can measure. Then we can find what is the total reading for that particular focusing, as total reading is equal to MSR plus CVD times least count. So this is the formula. So least count we already determined, that is 0.001 centimeter. So now we have focus for the needle, and the needle is said to be adjusted for the reference condition. So now we'll start our experiment. So first I'll explain the tabular column and the formula part. So what we are determining. So in this experimental aspect, in finding the Young's modulus by single cantilever, so I have shown all the apparatus and how to find the least count of the considered traveling microscope. Now we'll pass on to the actual experimental thing, that is a determination of the Young's modulus, that is Y, for a given beam by the method of cantilever. So using the formula 4 mg L cube divided by BD cube delta, where m stands for the mass for which we are finding the amount of depression produced. So what is the mass we are considering? G is called as acceleration due to gravity, that is given 9.8, and L is the distance separation between the needle and the fixed end. The needle and the fixed end is nothing but the length of the beam. So B and D, the breadth and thickness of the wooden scale. So in our apparatus, the length of the beam, the thickness of the beam and the breadth of the beam. So it's all given onto the cantilever itself. So in a cantilever apparatus only we have displayed. You just copy that value while doing your experiment. So all constant value is given in this formula. excluding this delta. This delta refers to the mean elevation produced by the beam. So now using this formula, we have to determine the value of y. So now we already adjusted the experimental setup. The needle is well focused and we got the inverted image, the reference point. So now we'll start our experiment. So now in this tabular column, so we have given one side the load as x plus 0, x plus 20 and x plus 40. So what we are applying the stress in a continuation of 20 grams equally. So now again we are modifying this tabulation in such a way that we are not writing this load value continuously. We are just separating that just for our calculation purpose, and we are finding the amount of depression for a mass of 60. That is the main idea why we are modifying this tabular column. So now, in the next part we are mentioning 60, 80 and 100. So here for a single load we are calculating the value of MSR and CVD twice. So one is the load increasing part, another one is the load decreasing part. So first we'll continue for load increasing. So we'll start from x plus 0, where x stands for weight of the weight angle. Weight of the weight angle. So that we will add. So now, so this is a very small stress, that weight of the weight angle that we are not measuring. So since we are taking a difference of 60 grams, by the time this x will get cancelled. So you need not to measure that. Now we are applying a small stress here. So in this observation, so the needle is coming down, right? So if you apply a stress, since in the eyepiece we are observing the inverted image. So here what will happen? The needle will come down. So here the observation, it will go up. So needle is coming down. Here the observation needle is going up. So now what is the reference? So this is the reference. So the needle should touch the horizontal cross wire. How can we do that? Using this adjustable screw. So using this adjustable screw, again you adjust for reference condition by observing the eyepiece. So now the needle is said to be coinciding across the horizontal cross wire. Now after adjusting, it is touching the horizontal cross wire. Now we got the reference point. So in the camera it's quite difficult to show this focusing point. So just I am showing the geometry the way we are receiving. So this is the reference point for x plus 0, and always it should be same for all trials. So now read the MSR and CVD part. So now you just observe the reading. Only one trial will show. So if you focus this while measuring this, so now you just observe. So there is a mark 7, correct? 7 centimeter. So then after that one division is 7.05. So now this zero line of the vernier is always the reference, and we should understand where exactly that is existing with respect to the main scale division. So if you observe that, so this is existing in between 7.1 and 7.15. So prefer always the lower value. Now this case 7.1 is the MSR. So main scale reading for x plus 0 is clear. Now you should scan all these 50 divisions what they have given in this vernier scale at this junction. Carefully if you observe here, then you can able to read what is the coinciding vernier division. So your angle of vision should be tangential to the surface of the scale. If the angle of incidence is oblique, so we'll get the paraxial error. So analyzing the CVD is the main role here. So now we are getting 7.1 is the MSR. So if we observe here, so now for my observation, so I am getting 28 as the CVD. 28 as the CVD. Then after that you just mention 7.1 is the MSR and 28 is the CVD. Then what is the total reading? So we should go with the formula. Total reading will be equal to MSR plus CVD into least count. So using this, if you calculate, so we'll get 7.128. 7.128. So this is the way you have to read the MSR and CVD for each trial. For x plus 20, x plus 40, 60, 80 and 100. So just I'll keep on add the load. So just I'll explain the next point, how to adjust and all. So now after completing this x plus 0, we'll add all the base and at the bulged position, insert the load, then slowly you just drop it. It should not vibrate, keep it at rest. If it is vibrating like this, so we don't get the proper values here. So once you have adjusted this focusing of the needle, so that is sufficient. You need not to focus for each and every trial. So now for x plus 20, so now again the condition is there is a depression, the needle is coming down. Here the observation is the needle is going up. So now what we have to do the next step? So we have to focus this adjustable screw, then we have to adjust for this reference condition. So now again we have to go with the same steps. After adjusting for the reference point using this adjustable screw, then measure MSR and CVD. So what I explained previously, how to find the MSR and CVD. So you just observe here, after focusing, so there will be a change. There will be a change in the value of MSR. So now, in the case of this cantilever, once we keep on increase the stress or if we apply a load, the value of MSR decreases, means there is a depression. So that we can conclude. As we keep on increase the load, the value of MSR keep on decreases. So similarly, you just continue for all the trials. You just follow the steps what we have done for x plus 0 and x plus 20. Now we'll go for x plus 40. Again the same observation. The needle will, means the beam is undergoing the depression, so that the bending will be there, that we can observe in the eyepiece, so that the needle is going up. Again reset, take the MSR and CVD by considering the reference point. Then for 60 grams, continue the same procedure. Then for 80, then for 100. So now for x plus 100, so the load increasing, now we are completing. So whatever we are getting the MSR and CVD part. So what we are getting, say for example, here I may get some 5.5, here maybe some 20. So whatever we are reading, the reading across this, the same value how to retain for load decreasing, because the moment you are going to start with the load decreasing. So these two readings should be same. Then repeat the experiment. For a same load, you are taking the readings twice. One is along the load increasing part, one is along the load decreasing part. Now for x plus 80 you already taken the value. Now you just cross check that value in the case of load decreasing. So now if I remove 20 grams here, so now it will be, so this is 0, 20, 40, 60, 80. Now this is for x plus 80. So now what is the observation? So now we already added a load. So now this is under depression. So once we remove only a small one load like 20 grams, so it will be like x plus 80. Now the condition here is the needle is going elevated. So elevation we can say. The needle is going up. So here the observation is coming down. Meaning, so in the case of load decreasing part, the needle is going down. Again we have to reset using adjustable screw. Using this adjustable screw, adjust for this reference. Adjust for this reference. Then read the MSR and CVD part for this x plus 80. Note down the corresponding reading across the load decreasing part. So that is for x plus 80. Similarly, you repeat for all the trials like x plus, if I remove 20 grams, now this will be for x plus 60. Again the needle is going up. Here the observation is coming down. Then reset using this screw. Then repeat the experiment for up to x plus 0. Now I will remove this 20 grams again. Then 20. Then 20. Now this is x plus 0. So the needle should be erect always. So now x plus 0 also we are writing. Make sure that if you repeat this for load decreasing, 99% MSR will be same. The variation will be only in terms of CVD, that you have to verify. And even you don't get the same CVD also. So then after that you just go with the calculation. So for first trial, say for example, so here you have taken R1, here you have taken R2. Meaning, you should take the total reading of this and total reading of this and take the average. Take the average. 7.18 in the first case what we have measured. In the same manner, you just go with for rest of the trials and find R1 and R2. Find R1 and R2. Just I'll show one example what we have done. See here. So 8.3045 the first case, and the load decreasing for the same load 8.30 and 30 we got. And if you take total reading of this and total reading of this, then take the average. So like this you find for all the trials. So R1 for this side and R2 for this load. Then take the difference for x plus 0 and x plus 60, will get the depression for a mass of 60 grams. That will be the last column. So we are getting the consistency because we are measuring for 60 grams. So equal variation is there. So here we are getting like 0.603, here like 0.63 and 0.61. It's a small variation. So it's almost consistent. Hence we can say that our observation is proper. If you are not getting consistency in that, there is a lot of variation means, so it's not properly observed. So then take the mean of that. Take the mean of this depression values, then consider that value, then go with the formula 4 mg L cube divided by BD cube delta, using all constant value and substitute this delta what we have calculated. So using the formula, so that is 4 mg L cube divided by BD cube delta after substituting. So finally we are getting the value 9.8 into 9 into 10 power 10 Newton per meter square. So the complete result what we have found, that is the Young's modulus of the considered beam is found to be 9.8 into 10 power 10. So this is the required data what we have to find out from this experimental thing. The Young's modulus of the considered beam by the method of cantilever. Thank you.